Ladies and women. Andy here, day 228 of the Inner Winner Show. Now, we're going to talk about how to get laid as a woman. So I've got my girlfriend, Imogen. She's not my girlfriend. So I get that off the record. She lives with me. We have sexual intercourse. We love each other very much. We adore each other, but she's not my girlfriend. Okay, that's moving too quickly. So, Imogen.
Yes.
My friends with benefits for the last 3 years who lives with me now. How do you get laid as a woman?
You just say yes.
Okay, there you go, guys. There you go, girls, I should say. So if you girls want to get laid, that's all you really have to do. Just say yes. Don't say no. Just say yes. So when a guy comes up to you and wants to have sex with you, just say yes and you'll get laid. You should be able to get laid. I think that's all you really have to do. So
I'd
there you
say
go.
so, yeah.
We can end the episode there. There you go, girls. So imagine if we actually cut the episode off right there. Like that was literally just like a 1 minute 30
You
podcast.
could do it on a day where you're really not bothered.
So why are we talking about this goofy idea? I think most people know because it is kind of, it's often said with a lot of bitterness or anger or frustration. Frustration is probably the best word. Often by people on Reddit. But just like a lot of guys, they'll get frustrated by the fact that women really do just have to say yes. If you want to get laid as a woman, just say yes. Sure. Guys will hit on you even if you're obese and miserable and you're a horrible human being. Guys will hit on you and you just have to go home with them.
Sure. I would also like to clarify that girls don't call it getting laid.
Girls call it getting dick. What do women call it?
Sleeping with someone.
Girls are so dumb. It's called getting fucking laid. Call it what it is. You don't have to make it sound pretty. Not everything has to sound pretty. You can just say getting fucking dick. Me and the girls got some fucking dick last night. That's how the guys talk. That's not true. So, let's get serious here. It's a very serious topic. Getting laid or sleeping with people is a very serious topic, okay? Don't want any jokes. So, guys can sometimes get frustrated by the fact that it's incredibly hard for us as guys. It's not once you improve yourself. It's pretty fucking easy, to be honest. But it's hard at the start. It's incredibly hard. There are all these things tied up in it. All your insecurities. Will I ever make it? Can I make it? Am I a guy that deserves to get laid? But all the rejection I have to go through, all that kind of stuff. And they can often get frustrated or resentful towards the fact that women really do just have to say yes. First thing I'll say is that isn't helping you as a man. That's just making you bitter. If you sit there and get frustrated by how easy it is for women to get laid, how does that help you? That doesn't help you. That's not taking action. That's not improving yourself. That's not working you towards getting laid. It's taking you away from getting laid because all the time you sit there getting frustrated is time you're not working on your self-improvement. Plus, you will just grow to resent women. And how do you sleep with women when you fucking hate them? You can do it, but it's 10 times harder. It's infinitely easier to get laid if you don't hate them. You don't want to be sleeping with people that you don't like.
Yeah. And I mean, if you're looking for them, you'll always find, like for both genders, you could go on about like why it's awful to be a woman and why it's terrible to be a man.
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
and we are going to cover some of that stuff, yeah.
You can stare into the abyss and just get super negative and start hating the other gender, but it doesn't really serve...
It's not helping you.
Yeah. It doesn't serve either party.
Yeah. And women do the same sort of stuff towards men.
Sure.
I think probably the best example for women is them getting frustrated by how easy, and it's not easy, but how easy it appears to be for guys to do certain things, like do whatever you want, disappoint other people, go your own way, speak your mind, be blunt, take what you want. Women resent not all women, lots of women resent the shit out of us for those things being easy for us. They're not easy, but they are easier for us to do than a woman, generally speaking. And so, as you're saying, both genders could sit there and stare into the abyss, make yourself miserable by thinking of how easy it is for the other gender. It's not fair. And it's like, yeah, life's not fair, fuck it. Like, I'm sorry, but it's not. Yes, it is easy for a woman to get laid. We started out with a joke, but it's true. If you want to get laid as a woman, just say yes. Great, done. So you are operating in a world that is already unfair. Stop sitting there and bitching about it. Deal with it. Do something about it. Take action. Go and improve yourself. Talk to more women so you get laid. Like, do something. Don't sit there being miserable. And the second thing, I guess we can cover this now. I'm sure there's a lot of women watching. I'm sure all three of the women that watch. We do have we do have like a fair amount. Actually, I'm surprised by how many women watch this shit, but
Really?
probably because you're here. But plus, because I'm fucking magnanimous. And look at this hat. Women come for my hat game. Honest to God, Radical right now. Shout outs to Radical, the moderator on my forums. He's getting moist right now. I know he's jerking off. Not over me, but over my hats. So if you guys are listening to the podcast and you're not watching the YouTube video, I'm wearing... Let's just say I'm wearing 4 hats at once. And my hat game is on point. And that's the main reason that I would say that women watch this podcast. For the hat game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're nice too, but you're not wearing a hat right now. You look like trash. To be honest, you look like trash without a hat. I'll be honest. Do you want one of my hats? Yeah, put on one.
You always mock me when I put on a hat.
Because you look kind of goofy. So, being serious. I'm sure all the women watching right now are screaming. Oh, you look so good. All the women watching right now are screaming and saying they're in hysterics. Because they're saying, "Oi, dickhead. We don't want to get laid, fuckface."
That's how they're all speaking.
That's how women speak, yes.
Yeah.
But seriously.
Yeah.
That's not most women's rule books. And if you don't know what I mean about rule book, I'll leave a link in the description to an article we did or a podcast we did talking about what I mean by the concept of a rule book. When I say a rule book, I'm just talking about what people want. Most women don't want to get mad dick, right? Most guys, generally speaking, want to get mad pussy. Let me get that pussy. Let me tap that ass, boy. Let me touch them titties. Let me like lick up and down the crack. That's what guys want. I know what guys want. I'm a guy.
Sure.
And so most women don't think like that towards men. They're not like, "Oh, let me get that dick, son." Like, why don't you show me your balls? Like, show me them balls, boy. I like them balls. Let me have a good lick of those balls. That's not what women are walking around desperate for that dick.
No.
Partly because they know they can get it at any point in time. So you're not desperate for it. You don't have a need. Partly because they don't have testosterone. And you're not fucking walking around horny like we are all the time. We're like ready to go 24/7. I jerk off 7 times a day. That's not true, but I could if I wanted to. I could. And every guy listening is like, yeah, I could probably do that.
Wouldn't be fun.
Find a woman who could like do that. She's like, no, I got shit to do. I don't have time for that shit.
That's like the opposite of like women can like masturbate.
Yeah, but not 7
indefinitely.
separate sessions throughout the day. No woman's doing that shit. Plenty of fucking guys do that shit. Trust me, plenty of fucking guys jack off. It's like the Wolf of Wall Street. There's that one scene where Matthew McConaughey's character says like, how many times are you jacking off? And Leonardo DiCaprio's like, I don't know, like once a day. He's like, no, those are rookie numbers, son. You got to be jacking off at least, like I jack off at least 2 or 3 times a day, every day. In the morning, lunchtime, I jerk one off. Like you got to just be pressure release. Anyway, what the fuck is this podcast? This is trash. Who fucking came up with this idea? So back on topic.
Yeah.
It's not in most women's rule book to get laid a lot.
No. And I mean,
It's not what you want.
Biologically speaking, it's beneficial.
Counterproductive.
Yeah, it's beneficial for the human species for women to be selective.
Yeah. One of us has to be. And that's what I always say. Whenever guys get upset over the fact that women are the choosers and men have to be the dancing monkeys, I don't like framing it like that, but I understand the idea. Men have to perform.
Sure.
Men have to get chosen, women get to choose. One of the genders has to be that in order for biology to continue.
Sure.
That is just the way nature is. I'm sorry, boys. Like, we got that hand. We also got a hell of a lot of benefits to being a man that women don't get. And some women will sit around and say, it's not fair, I didn't get those. How come I don't get masculinity? How come I don't get that, like, drive to fucking conquer the world? How come people don't respect me and listen to me the same way they do if you're a man, especially with a deep voice or something, which every man can have a deep voice, just lower your fucking voice. Like, there are benefits and there are negatives to both genders.
Yeah, of course.
If you sit there, we've talked about this a million times in podcasts. If you sit there and obsess about the negatives that your gender has, you're wasting time. Like, what are you doing? You need to be improving yourself. Make the best of what you have. Make the most of what you have. Do something with the hand that you've been given, the hand you've been dealt. You also pointed this out when we tossed around the idea of this topic. You said you get laid. You get criticized for getting laid a lot as a woman.
Yeah, of course. I think because it's not something you have to work towards.
It's seen as like lazy.
It's called being easy.
Yeah, because it is literally easy. It's like, just don't say no, and then you get laid a lot as a woman. You didn't have to do anything. You didn't accomplish anything.
You get called like a slut and a whore and all of that. Even if people being like, yeah, you just like embrace yourself. Behind your back, people are still being like, she's a bit of a slut. Like,
yeah.
it's not something to be proud of. Whereas for a guy, having a lot of sex
means you rose up to this, or you were either born this level or you rose up to this level.
Yeah, it's not criticized. So why would a girl just say yes to everyone if she's then going to be criticized for it?
Exactly. And so we can have a whole discussion about whether the word slut is like good or bad or horrible or, you know, anything like that. That's a discussion for a different time. But the point of this podcast was for guys who are getting a bit frustrated and saying, it's not fair, why is it hard for me? And I understand those frustrations. I had them too for a long time. I was like, I'm so frustrated. Why is this so hard? Women get to just do whatever they want and they can reject me. A lot of that frustration comes from rejection and from you not being at the place you're at. People call this abundance mentality. When you know that women like you, that you can get laid if you want to, you can have a girlfriend if you want to. When you know that like there's plenty of women in your life, you don't have these frustrations. And so once again, I say this all the time, the answer to most of your problems is to talk to more women. Go date more women. Get more experience. If you feel like you're frustrated, if you feel like you're at a point where it's like, it's not fair, how come women, get to get laid whenever they want? Make it so that you can get laid whenever you want. Improve yourself. Go talk to a lot of women. Build the life you want. Become the person that women will want to sleep with.
Yeah, because I will say, if a guy is attractive enough, girls will like throw themselves at you.
Yeah, for sure.
There is a level, and then like you can be in like a friend group, and like every girl will be like, he's
the guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
You and I were talking about a guy on my forums today talking about like at the gym, he gets plenty of eye contact and girls make excuses to come and stand near him because he's like really attractive and muscular and shit. And it's like, we're not even talking about you have to get to some god tier level. Just improve yourself. And the effects like slowly add up over time or slowly build over time.
Yeah.
Get to a point where women are like wanting to sleep with you. And then this shit does become easy. And then you start to, funnily enough, at that point, empathize with women. You're like, oh shit, now that's me. I'm the one that gets to get laid whenever I want. And obviously I have to put in more effort now than a woman does, for sure. To get laid versus a woman. But like, it's pretty close. Within 3 days, I can have sex. If I want to. If I push myself that same day. Like, I could set up a Tinder right now and get laid tonight.
Sure.
And guaranteed tomorrow, and ultra guaranteed in 2 days from now. If you say to me, I'll give you $10,000 if you get laid in 2 days, I'll be like, fucking easy, man. Like, give me the money now. If you say get laid tonight, I'll be like, depends. I'll try really hard, but yeah, I'd have to like really bust my ass. Like, I'd probably have to go outside and talk to like a bunch of women while using Tinder, while talking to like, yeah.
While talking.
So I could do it. I'm pretty sure I could do it. If you gave me enough of a bet, I'm pretty sure I could do it. But no guarantees. But anyway, whatever. Like, yeah. Most women could probably sleep with a guy within that same period, within a day or two. Yeah.
Yes.
Women also have other goals. We can kind of talk about that a little bit. Like, most girls want a relationship, or at least, and this is another topic that you and I are going to talk about in the future, they want either a relationship or casual sex, like something ongoing, with one guy who likes them and is nice to them, is decent at sex. You don't have to be fucking amazing, but like decent at sex.
Yeah, I think that does tie into like the slut thing, because like if you have a friends with benefits, no one's really criticizing that. It's when you just like go have one night stands with a bunch of people. Yeah,
and sometimes people get that conflated. Girls and guys get that conflated, and they will say, "Oh, this girl's a slut because she's like having casual sex," and those people are usually naive. Most people don't think that you're a slut if you have sex with one casual friends with benefits, maybe one or two, but like if you're like fairly loyal, so to speak, or if you like pick one guy and you're like, yeah, I'm just going to sleep with one guy at a time, and if it doesn't work out, fine, I'll go and find another guy, that's fine. But like, it's generally speaking, the word slut is generally speaking used more for like easy, interchangeable with the word easy. Like most people, especially other women, have more of a problem if you just say yes to everyone, if you're not discerning.
Yeah.
I wish they wouldn't use the word slut. It's such a fucking childish word. It really is. It's so pathetic. Like, it doesn't... I hate words. I get mad triggered because I have, like, fucking autism or something. I get mad triggered when someone uses a word that is incorrect, like, in that context. It is contextually incorrect. I can't stand that. And the word slut is, like, it's just a nothing word. It means nothing. It's like saying dickhead. It's like, what does that fucking mean, you child? Say what you're... The English language, or whatever language you speak, was invented so that we could get concepts across to each other and exchange information. And you're choosing to just like make sounds with your mouth. Slut. Yeah, slut. It's like, what the fuck is that? Say what you mean. Say, I feel like you're not discerning enough with the men that you sleep with. I feel like you jump into bed too quickly with men with no sort of screening. You don't care about their personality. You don't expect anything from them. You'll just sleep with anyone who shows you attention. I feel like your bar is too low and you accept too little. And I feel like that speaks to you and your self-esteem. And I think that you could benefit from raising that self-esteem. That is a better way of stating the same thing than just slut.
But I don't think people think about it that much.
Because people are fucking morons with an IQ of like 40. It disgusts me.
This girl sleeps with a lot of people. That makes me feel bad feeling.
Yeah. I feel bad feeling you slut. It's like, what are you trying to communicate? Come on. Like, stop. I know there's like 2 brain cells in that head and they're colliding right now. But if you can get them to not hit each other, they can form a coherent sentence. And you can say what you actually mean. Mm-hmm. Try that. And that might be useful. And to any women out there who get the word slut, just say everything I said. Just say like, there's 2 brain cells in your... And then say what you mean, you cretin, you Neanderthal. And then the other girl starts crying and she's like, yeah, you're a slut and you're mean to me.
Not nice.
Another point that we can cover is, you said this, women often aren't aware. This is going to blow most guys' minds. But I've heard it from enough women now, including you and plenty of other women.
Yep.
Guys, not every woman is aware that she has a lot of options.
Yeah.
Most guys will hear that and be like, mic drop, like, what the fuck is that? You could have ended with that. That's like the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Surely women know. Come on, you're being silly. Women know that they can step outside and get dick. And it's like, no, a lot of them have a million insecurities. They're in their head. They're too shy to actually say, I know that sounds insane, but like, they're too shy to say yes and go on a date with guys. So 10 guys a year, 20 guys a year might be like, hey, I like you. And she's just like, she shuts down. She's like, I can't handle it. Oh, I don't know what to do. And so in her mind, she's like, I have no options because I know I'm too incompetent to say yes. I'm too nervous to say yes. That would be a more charitable way of phrasing that.
Yeah, I mean, prior to meeting you, I wasn't aware of, let's call this like this phenomenon. Like, in my head, men and women rejected each other a normal amount.
Which every guy listening right now is like, are you fucking kidding me? I've rejected like 3 women in my entire life and been rejected by 339,426. No, 27. That girl rejected me the other day. I remember. I didn't forget. I wrote that down.
Yeah, in my head, everyone was just kind of picky.
Yeah, and most girls that I speak to about this, the same thing. I'll be like, you know, you have a lot of options. I don't know if you remember who exactly. The ginger girl that we both really liked that was in an open relationship. She was in a relationship and then she got out of it. Yeah. And I started dating her. And then I introduced you to her. We both really liked her.
Yeah.
And we were bummed that we had to stop seeing her, or that we chose to stop seeing her. You know which one I mean?
Yeah.
With the long hair.
Pretty.
Yeah, fucking man. She was like really pretty.
Yeah.
Where was I going with this? I had a discussion with her because it was when she was like really bummed and she's like, do you know, I just don't know that I can ever get, because she got out of a relationship with her past boyfriend. They'd been together for like 6 years and I was the second person she ever slept with in her whole life. And she was kind of finding herself. I was trying to give her some like gentle advice and shit, and she was like, I just don't know if I can, I don't know if I deserve another guy like him, or and he hadn't been wonderful. Like, she broke up with him.
Yeah.
I think he had no direction in life or something.
Nothing
against him, but he just wasn't amazing.
Yeah.
And so I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I listed like 10 of her qualities. And she was like, almost in tears. And she's like, really? You really think that? And I was like, what are you fucking talking about? Like, those are objectively true. Like, you are attractive, objectively. And she's like, but I don't feel it. And it's like, because she had been in a relationship, and this happens with a lot of girls. They haven't explored their options. So they know they get attention, but you don't know that it's almost like you don't know that it's real. Because as a girl, everyone is so nice to you all the time, and you don't know how much of that is them just pandering to you and making you feel nice.
It feels surface level.
Yeah.
I don't think you actually, when somebody's nice to you, when you get a vibe that a guy is hitting on you, because you're in a relationship, you know it's not an option, you almost like don't remember it. Don't count it. Don't count it or don't acknowledge it, because it's almost like you never consider the actual tangibles of like, if I wanted to, I could probably get into a relationship with this person, because it's just not on the table, so it's not in your mind. So like, it's almost like that didn't count. Like, you don't remember it.
And this shit sounds probably insane to most guys to hear. Fair enough, it would have to me too, or it did the first few times I hear it. And then you hear it enough times and you're like, okay, there's other things going on here. Like, women aren't just like dipshits who can't see what's going on in front of them. Like, if I lived as a woman, would I probably do the same thing? Yeah, I'd probably do the same thing. Okay, why is it happening? You know, like, again, a big part of it is that people give you compliments all the fucking time as a woman. Like, 1,000,000 times a day. You're pretty. Oh my God, I love your dress. Oh my God, that's so nice. Like, I love your hair. Like, you just get compliments from other women, from guys hitting on you, from guys being nice to you, from gay guys who have no interest in you, but they just give you compliments. Like, other women, obviously, mothers, like, everyone is giving you compliments all the time as a woman. And so it's almost like you can't differentiate between that and reality. And so even half the time, if I give a compliment to a girl, a lot of the time it kind of is just like, it's accepted as like, oh, thanks, nice. And it's like, no, I really mean that. And then she's like, oh, okay, well, thank you. That's actually really nice of you. Like, it's almost like I'm just trying to be nice. And I've had that statement said to me quite a few times. When I've given a genuine compliment to a girl, especially a girl I'm sleeping with and I'm honest with, I'll give a genuine compliment. And then she's almost like, thanks, that's nice. And I'm like, I'm not being nice. I'm telling you the truth. And you have to kind of crack through that till she gets to a point where she's like, oh, you actually mean that thing you're saying. Yeah, dickhead, I'm saying because I mean it.
Yeah. That, and I think it comes from a place of, like, insecurity.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, he doesn't know. That's another thing that a lot of girls walk around like, you know, he doesn't really know my flaws. If he knew the real me underneath, he would leave. Or if he knew my flaws, he wouldn't like me.
Yeah.
He just likes my appearance, but he doesn't actually like me as a person.
Yeah. I mean, that, or I really do think a lot of it just comes from places like, oh, they're just being nice. They don't actually think. They just want me to feel nice, which is nice of them. But
yeah. Yeah. Whereas I think for guys, when you get a compliment, you're like, oh shit, I got a fucking compliment. Like, I only needed 3 compliments. My first 3 compliments on my appearance, like, the first one changed my life. And the first 3, like, absolutely, fuck yeah. Like, I can remember each one, can remember what was said. Like, I can count the number of times I've been told that I'm sexy by a girl, and it's like, holy shit, like, that means so much to you. Whereas for a girl, you just, like, you hear that all the time. So, like, it's almost like you hear it too much, and you don't actually believe it.
Yeah, it stops meaning
Or that
anything.
can happen. And now this isn't every woman. Lots of women hear that all the time and they're like, I know I'm pretty. Like, people tell me all the time. This is more for like, a lot of women are insecure and they'll hear it all the time and it goes in one ear and goes out the other. So it's not every woman that does this, of course.
Yeah, and I think the majority of girls that you've like surrounded yourself with do tend to be younger and more experienced.
Yeah, for sure. We tend to
less
sleep
aware
with young
of-
women. Like 18 to 20-year-olds, especially 18 and 19-year-olds. They like, a lot of them have like no...
Yeah.
They're very insecure. Yeah. Because they just haven't been around long enough to know.
Yeah.
They're coddled at high school. A lot of the ones we've seen have only just left high school like last year. So they're at uni. They've only been at university for a year. Everyone's shy at university. It's like you haven't really been in the dating landscape like properly. You haven't interacted with adults. If you're still at university, you haven't properly interacted with adults. Unless you're like 21, at that point, sure. Or if you work a job, I worked my first job at fucking 12, so like that's interacting. But most people don't have the number of uni students who say like, I've never worked a job, and they're like 21. And so by that, you kind of been a bit insulated if you're doing that.
Yeah, of course.
So you haven't really built up your self-esteem because you haven't been interacting with like the rest of the world. Or you haven't done a lot of interacting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess advice for women: you're fucking beautiful. Send me an email. Send Imogen and I an email. You fucking gorgeous girls. Like, if you're in Australia, if you're not, like, fuck off. Don't want to hear from me. That's not true. You can fucking send us a message and say hello or something. That'd be cool. Advice for guys. I think we covered it before, but
Don't get too bitter.
yeah, don't get bitter about it. Like, and I understand that it's easy to get bitter. Like, again, I was bitter, so we shouldn't say don't get bitter. That's not actionable advice. That's probably not helpful advice. If you feel like you're getting bitter, take a deep breath. Remind yourself, watch this podcast again, remind yourself of everything we said, you know.
Recognize that there's pros and cons to being a man.
Yeah, for sure. Like, men, we have a lot of advantages. Like, fucking hell, we have a lot of advantage. Our ceiling is way higher than most women. Like, most women start way above us, like, way above us. They, like, valued by society on a level that no man, unless he's, like, rich or ridiculously good looking, starts with. But then we get to climb way higher in terms of our self-improvement, in terms of our looks. I think men can climb way higher than women if they're willing to go to the gym for like 3 to 5 years. I think after 5 years, you're way better looking. If you're a giant fucking muscular dude, like, you crush most women.
I will say, maybe I'm biased, but I feel like there's way more really attractive women than there are like super attractive
Yeah,
men.
sure, but we're talking about like the peak.
So they stand out.
We're talking about the peaks.
Yeah.
And again, you don't have to go, I'll make it clear, you don't have to go to the gym for 3 to 5 years. That's like if you want to beat women in terms of attractiveness. You get to that top 0.001%.
Mm-hmm.
You only need to go to the gym for about a year. I'll say a year, probably, maybe.
It's pretty short.
Keep going after that, but I'm saying after a year, you're at a point where like,
How much muscle
assuming
can
you weren't
gain
fat
in a year?
in your first year, fuck, are you serious?
I actually.
That was when I went from deadlifting like 40 kilos to like 120 in my first year.
Yeah, but like muscle mass.
Yeah, tons of muscle mass. Problem is I was fat as well, so like, but yeah, don't get fat, guys. So try not to get too bitter.
Mm.
Each gender has their pros and cons. You can't change, like I don't understand, or I understand it, but it's not helpful to you to sit there and get upset over something that you have no control over.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have said that statement. I take that back. You have plenty of control over this. You can't change women, but you can fucking change yourself, and that's what you should be doing. Improving yourself, hitting the gym, losing weight, dressing better, making friends so you can be more social, wearing 3 hats so that women love you,
Don't do that.
having a little Mario toy like this boy here.
Don't even do that, I know.
Excuse me, you do need a Mario and 3 hats. That's like the secret to how I've gotten laid. I'm going to do a paid video course on how to get laid with 3 or more hats. And I'm also going to do one, how to get laid if you only own 1 hat. And that's basically going to say, like, you really need to buy 3 hats. But, like, if you only have 1 hat, fine. Just understand you're probably only going to sleep with, like, over 50-year-old women who are, like, twice divorced and have a kid. Like, you're not really going to be having sex with, like, an 18-year-old cutie pie or something. It's just not. Cutie pies like hats. Let's be honest. What was the last thing that the last 2 girls that we slept with said? They walked in and they said, fucking sexy hat, big boy. And I was like, thanks, little one. And both of them high-fived me. You forget something. It's like you're not even... It's because you're in the other room. You're in the kitchen where any woman should be. As the head chef. So... So yeah, guys, try not to get too bitter. If you're feeling bitter, that's fine. Just work on your self-improvement. That bitterness will go away over time. I promise it gets better. Absolutely gets better. That's another key point that I should have said. Mm. The more you build the life you want, the harder it is to be resentful. If you like your sex life, why would you give a shit how easy it is for women to get laid? I'm happy that it's easy for women to get laid. Actually, I'm not. I don't really give a shit. Like, most women don't want to get laid, but like just get laid. But I couldn't care less. If it's easy for them, I'm like, cool, sweet, great. Like... I will say, it's very easy for the girls that see us to have sex with us. Like, they don't have to do jack shit. They just have to basically exist and be semi-pleasant.
Yeah,
that's
I like
it.
That.
Not fucking punch me in the face when we go on a date. That's it. That's your bar. Don't vomit on me or piss on me. I'd probably like the pee one. I'm into that. Don't do it in public. That's probably a bit weird. So, control your bladder. Control your bladder. Control your gut or your vomit reflex. Don't punch me. Don't stab me. That's like your barrier to entry. Yeah. So as a woman, you really don't have to do very much. But like, I'm not resentful towards him. I used to be when I was at a point where I wasn't happy with my sex life. I would get mad. I'd be like, bitch, you're not even doing anything. I'm carrying most of the conversation and you're shy. And what, I got to take you back to my apartment and sleep with you? How is that fair? Like, I was angry about it. But the more that I've improved my sex life and gotten to a point where I'm very happy, I'm happy for them. Like, great. I'm glad that they don't have to do anything and they get to sleep with us. I want them to have a nice time. Like, I want people to have a nice time. I don't need them to jump over hoops and hurdles and make their life... I don't need to make their life harder and make them struggle just to sleep with me. It's like, cool, sit with me. It's easy for us to get laid. So I guess, like, it's great that it's easy for both of us to get laid. The women and the men. Yeah. So fix your sex life, guys. That solves this problem. When you get to a point where you're getting laid a lot, you literally don't care how easy it is for girls to get laid. Or to sleep with men, as you like to call it.